Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another match of the Hong Kong Sevens. This one, South Africa, taking on the Spanish. Now, these are two sides that got themselves victories in their first game in Hong Kong. Looking to build their momentum, and whoever wins this game more than likely will be making their way through to the quarterfinals. Of course, in a tough group, they also have Ireland, they also have Samoa, and South Africa getting themselves the win by 5. Spain getting themselves the win by 3. Looking through at the starting lineups for the Spanish, it will be Manu Moreno, Josep Ceres, Laforga, Nieto, Sainz-Tropanga, Manteca, and Eduardo Lopez. So pretty similar to what we saw for the first match. Then for the South Africans, Kua Nokia, Ryan Oosthuizen, De Walt Human, Shilton van Wyk, Selvin Davids, Zane Davids, and also Christy Robela, the last man in the starting side. We have got 8 and a 7. Why not the Blues? Because the Sevens is on. It's not very often we do get a Sevens leg, and also they are short and snappy, and while we're sick, that is a lot easier on the throat. So that is why we've gone with the Sevens approach, but we are hoping to do some Super Rugby. The goal is to do Moana Pacifica versus the Chiefs tomorrow at 7:05. Hopefully we are feeling a little bit better by them, but these two starting sides, they are looking very strong. Morning from Cape Town, Hamish, says Ruth, and there as well. Now, I should mention Justin Gerald, of course, going to be unavailable for the South Africans in Super Rugby this weekend. Like I said, the Chiefs versus Moana Pacifica is the plan. Later on tonight, of course, the Fijian draw are taking on the Rebels, but at the same time as that game is taking place, we are going to get to see Fiji in action for the first time for the Sevens when they go head-to-head with the Australians. We have to wonder if the Blitzboks pulled their socks up. Well, I mean, they did decently in their first game, but then they also made a lot of mistakes. And I think that is a little bit concerning, the fact that they were so far ahead. They were 22-0 up, and then only went on to win that game 22 points to the 5, I believe it was, in the end. And interesting to see if they've improved, says Ruth. I should mention, anyone wondering about that Blues versus Western Force game, it is currently 7-0 in favour of the Blues. We will give you Super Rugby updates all throughout these live streams, including the next one that we have got taking place between Samoa and Ireland. Yeah, the first game for the Spanish, a big win up against the Samoans, managing to take out the victory 17 points to 14. And Ireland, they managed to get themselves close in their game up against the South Africans, but in the end, the Blitzboks too strong, winning at 22 points to 17. But Francisco Gonzalez, he will be the referee in charge of this contest. 133rd game for the Uruguayan referee. We are just about ready to go for this match. I should mention, anyone who is new, sure to leave a like and subscribe. We've got plenty more Sevens action coming just around the corner. Who's going to do this, Hamish? The Hong Kong round, USA, New Zealand, France. I also think that Fiji are worth a really good shout here. Argentina losing to the USA in their first game, of course, will be disappointing for Los Pumas, but you never know. They may be able to bounce straight back, still make their way through, but it's kicked off by Spain, nicely taken by De Walt Human, of course. They do not have Justin Gerald, that is due to his red card in the last contest, so I'm not sure how many matches he will be banned for. I think it might be 2. Kind of the regular stand down. So he would be back for the quarterfinals if they do make it that far. But Ryan Oosthuizen goes across to De Walt Human. Of course, both of these sides in a really good position overall for their groups. And that is a penalty early. Going the way of Spain. Eduardo Lopez takes the quick tap. Looks away to his right-hand side where he does have men waiting. Have the Blitzboks got their experienced workhorse back? Says Roof. I mean, they've got Christy Robela, Ryan Oosthuizen, and also Zane Davids all in that starting lineup. So they certainly aren't coming in light for this contest or for this league in general. So they haven't had a top 3 finish in Hong Kong since 2018. I think it might change, but saying that, we've just seen Laforga go on and score the first try of the match for the Spanish, and they will take the early lead here. Now, of course, in a game of sevens, it doesn't so much matter who scores first, but it's more of the case of who has more points at the end of the competition. But at the exact start to the match that the Spanish were after, they're missing a few players of their own. Juan Ramos, just to name one. No Paul Pla, due to I think it was a family illness or a family death, may have meant that he is out. But they're looking very good at the moment, the Spanish, getting the early try of Laforga And the Blitzboks, they are going to have to come from behind now if they want to get themselves the victory. Now, both of these sides have a pretty good chance of still making it through to the quarterfinals, whether that is as the second best ranked side in Pool C or whether that is as third. Yeah, there is still plenty of action to go in the Sevens competition. 2 games for all the sides today, and then the 1 game tomorrow that will also be taking place. Nokia going across the left-hand side. Nice run for Selvin Davids. We have the Kiwi lads rock. Says Ruth. And there's well another step there. Like they are saying, Christy Hrobla returning from the Western Province. Kicked him behind from Nokia. A little bit of a change in tactics. It looks like he's going to have the pace to win the foot race. Bumps the ball forward. Awkward bouncing one. He's knocked it on. The old human will finish the job, and they're going to be awarded the try here, I believe, for South Africa. There was a knock-on, I believe, from Nokia. They have ruled it as backwards, and it means that they get themselves back into the contest here. South Africa, go, 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 Bok, says Brian Savage. And they have a great tactical change there from Nokia. Saw the space in behind, tries to kick it forward. And there I thought that was close to a knock-on, but I think they ruled it as backwards due to the fact that his body was positioned towards his own side. Well picked up by the World Human, and they will now take the lead in this game. On the fly, said, how's Hamish? Welcome in, mate. If you have been keeping well, I'm glad to see the Crusaders come back as well, says Ruth. Yeah, getting themselves their first win of the Super Rugby Pacific season, their longest ever losing streak, and also the worst start that a champion has ever had to a Super Rugby season for the Crusaders. So they certainly are making history for all the wrong reasons at the moment in the comp. But the score sitting 7 points to 5 at the moment in favour of the Blitzboks. Kicked off high from Selvin Davids. Trying to line this one up as Christy Hrobla. He slapped it back, but it's taken nicely by Spain. Now Eduardo Lopez back across there. Almost a bounce pass from Moreno. Now wide to Sainz Trapanga. Tries to fend, gets around Zane Davids. Another offload. They are going backwards here. Spain Moreno. Set away again. Nice fending coming here. And they've managed to open up the space on the outside, although cutting back into the defenders. Risky tactic there from Josep Ceres. Almost worked out though. Now flicking it out the back door from Nieto. Passed across to Sainz Trapanga. And I really want this ball to go to ground too often here, Spain, or else that is normally when the Blitzboks are able to get themselves the turnovers. Another big fend coming in. Knees down for Manteca. Back across to this right-hand side, and they're currently still attacking from inside of their own 22. Saint Trapanga, though, gets the pass on the outside. Nice stepping from Moreno. Offload on the inside to La Forga again. Tackle well. Saint Trapanga protects the ball for Spain. This is probably the longest phase play we have seen from any side throughout the 7 competition so far. Still hanging on to it there. Eduardo Lopez spins out of the tackle attempt of Shilton van Wyk. Now Manteca goes back across to the right-hand side. Sainz Trapanga looks for the offload. That is where the mistake came, although it is still available for the Spanish. La Forga gets the offload away. Was it a knock-on from Moreno? Referee says no, so it is play on. Moreno taken down, flicks it out the back door, knocked on from La Forga, then knocked on by Nokia, and they go back for the scrum. But a very quick bit of play there. Looks like there's about 2 or 3 players down at the moment. Looks like Ustazen has stayed down. Looks like 2 Spanish players also still going to be on the ground. I was trying to catch a number there. Looks like Moreno and also Sainz Trapanga is the other man who is still down. And Spanish have some strong players there. Don't underestimate them, says Roof. Exactly right. That is what Samoa did. They underestimated how strong the Spanish side can be, and they let them get back into the contest, and it ended up costing them. But Spain currently, they do sit 10th on the overall standings. Of course, the top 8 do get to play off, whereas the teams that are a little bit lower, they play in the relegation zone. Now, that is quite dangerous at this point. Uruguay currently leading in terms of the other sides that want to qualify for these series. Germany also amongst those sides. Kenya's there. And I think Japan are the other side that are sitting near the top. Now 1 minute 20 seconds remaining in this half. South Africa back in possession with Selvin Davids. This is where they want to strike, and that would be a big morale decline, I would say, for the Spanish if they've gone through all these phases and then South Africa managed to fire back and get themselves the try straight off the bat. Honey, garlic, and lemon and water, warm water, my bro. There's Naz Williams. Well, I did have some chicken with like a whole heap of garlic on it for tea, so I'm hoping that that will help. I've also been having a few other things that are supposed to be quite good for a cold. But yeah, I think it's going to be hanging around for a few more days, unfortunately. So hopefully over the weekend we are still able to provide the commentary that we normally would. It's just going to sound a little bit rougher, and there'll be a few stoppages along the way for if I'm coughing or sneezing or anything like that. Now Selvin Davids throw this ball in for South Africa, sitting 7-5 up. 40 seconds left on the clock here, and it seems like this game has hit a little bit of a slower pace now. Slightly contested in the air from Spain, so they do actually end up knocking that ball on, and it'll once again be another scrum in favour of the Blitzboks. Philip Snyman, the head coach of the South Africans, watching on for this game, of course. They're not in the position where they would like to be, and with the squad that they've got, we expect a lot more from this Blitzboks side, but, you know, they, like I said, they haven't finished too well in Hong Kong over the last few seasons. Maybe take some aspirin, lemon, ginger, honey, cinnamon, and boiling water. That'll blow your sinuses through the roof. Sorry. I should say. Sinuses is a hard word to say when you've got sinuses problems. That is going to be the penalty to the South Africans. Looks like they are going to go for this quick tap here and continue playing now. Like they're saying, some teams would have taken the halftime break. South Africa do not have that mindset. They want to keep on attacking the wall. Human with the pass out wide to Christy Robela. And now puts in the fend on Mantek. I think he might have got a poke to the eye because he pulled out of that tackle very quickly. And it's still there now for South Africa. Good answer from Zane Davids. Gets it on the outside to Selvin Davids. One more out wide to Sean Williams. He's 5 metres out. He's just pushing towards the line. And he gets there by the sounds of it. The ref wants to check this one to make sure that it's all right. One moment, I'm about to sneeze. And the try is awarded, I should mention, ladies and gentlemen. Sean Williams, welcome back to this Blitzboks side. That was a forward pass, I believe, out wide to him. But let's play on. Until you're told otherwise, you keep going. A nasty, very cold wind. Southeasterly blowing through Cape Town, says Ruth. But Sean Williams, just explosive power and acceleration to just keep on breaking tackles when players were charging at him. But the Human, he has not been able to convert, so the score at halftime will be 12 points to 5 in favour of South Africa. But they are a lot better off than it looked like they were going to be at the start when we saw Spain getting themselves that try. It's all more possession for the Spanish, though, so I'm curious to see how that progresses in the second half. Of course, Pool C is heating up with Ireland and Samoa playing off in a very short moment. And slow game, no scoring. Says Roof, yeah, we haven't seen as many tries as we're used to seeing for the Blitzboks, but that does not mean that we won't see more in the second half. I think it's just more of a waiting game, seeing whether or not South Africans can really take it to that next level, because they were so good throughout that first half up against the Irish, where they found themselves, I believe they were up 17-0, and then it was 22-0. Some alcohol might warm you up, Roof. There's a Naz Williams in there. But yeah, it was so one-sided. And then Ireland started coming back, and it seemed like South Africa didn't really have an answer for that. So if Spain can push the pace early, that's probably their best bet of coming back in this game. If not, I think that South Africa will probably breeze to the victory. Like, the score has not updated, but it is 12 points to 5. One more try here could secure this game for South Africa, and also that would secure their spot in the quarterfinal. Like I said, that next game, Samoa versus Ireland, that is now almost a playoff game to see exactly who is going to get themselves the win in terms of the chance, or I should say, of making it through as the third place team. And yeah, Nazi hot chocolate and some whiskey, at least off today. Got to go work the weekend, says Ruth. Now Selvin Davids ready to take this kickoff for South Africa. Let's kick it off high to this right-hand side. Trying to slap that one back was Christy Grovala. It's nicely taken by Spain, keeping it in the field of play. And that is absolutely fantastic work to keep that ball alive and also to stop South Africa from getting themselves that turnover. Valencia's, that's a bounce pass, but it's worked out for the Spanish. Sits up nicely. Now another offload coming. Sainz Tropanga was waiting for it on the outside. Okay, it's actually a knock-on from Red. Then I think it was ruled as no knock-on, and then it got called as a knock-on. So someone was making a decision. I think it was the touch judge there. Actually overruled the referee's call there. Some good attack and running coming from Spain throughout this game. Just a little knock-on from NATO. And he wasn't happy about it either, but it's going to be the scrum now for the Blitzboks. Like I said, if they can score early in the second half, they will be in the prime position of being able to go on and win this game. But if they are unable to score here and Spain end up getting themselves the next try, it could be anyone's game. Havish needs a Swedish nose massage by a hot Swede, says Nuz Williams. Sorry, that was Ruth, I should say. Now, the Wild German, he was in front there, Sean Williams, offside by, I would say, about 3 or 4 metres. Kick's gone into Dutch. It's not a 50-22, of course, seeing as Sevens has not incorporated that rule as of yet. Of course, if they did, that would completely change the way that a Sevens game is played. It's a great kick in behind. That man is dressed as a massive rugby ball. That is commitment. Of course, some of you guys will know that Rugby Itch is actually at the Hong Kong Sevens as well. And due to that reason, it was actually myself and Distracted Sports, also known as Tony. We were the two covering the podcast this week. If you want to watch a hectic one that has a whole heap of weird directions that it goes in, be sure to check out their podcast over on the Rugby Recap channel. Breakaway try chance here for the Spanish. Doesn't look like he's going to have the gas in the legs to be able to keep running. In fact, he might. He's 5 metres out. He's been dragged down by Selvin Davids. He was extremely close to having enough gas in the tank. They will still score at Spain, but they score it a little bit wider. So I think that is still considered a miniature win for Selvin Davids. Of course, he would have loved to be able to stop that try from being scored. But just doing extremely well with that breakaway run. Pinning the ears back, he just kept on going. But every time that he thought he outrun Selvin Davids was just there ready to go for another tackle attempt. And Box just nosing in front again, says Roof. And this is the situation that Samoa found themselves in. They had Spain right on their heels. And then Spain were able to take that late lead. Now, the kick is missed. So it does mean that the score remains at 12 points to 10. But all three of these sides that I've mentioned, Samoa, Spain and South Africa, they're all sitting 7th or lower. And with a relegation zone in the 7th circuit, I feel like it's more so important now than ever to get yourself those big victories. Because let's say Spain have another result like they had in the last leg of the Sevens and make their way all the way through to the semi-finals. Like, that boosted their points drastically. Now, nicely claimed by Ronald Brown. Kicks that one in behind. It's well jumped on. That's a knock on there from South Africa. Little mistake from Letebelli. I'm not sure what his tactic was. It looked like he was trying to tap it forward so that he could then regather. Of course, going to be a knock on every day of the week, though. Buck just nosing in front again. Says Ruth. Line breaks 3-1 at the moment. Passes 41 made by Spain. Statistically, they have had the better game, unless you're talking about handling errors where it's been 3-1 in favour of the Spanish. South Africa, though, they've missed the 10 tackles. That is a stat that they will certainly be a little bit concerned about. Rushton forward, Shilton Van Vick trying to shut it down. They're only 5 metres out from their own line here. Spain looping around. Great tackle made by Sean Williams. The ball's still there. South Africa unable to play it. It wasn't out of the back of the breakdown. And the penalty goes the way of the Spanish again here. Do let me know now, ladies and gentlemen. 3 minutes remaining. Who do you think will get themselves the victory here? Can the Blitzboks find a rhythm here and get themselves the win? Or will it be Spain, the underdogs, who pull off yet again another upset? And they've become very good at pulling off upsets over the last 10 or so legs of the Sevens, and slowly they have got better and better. It would be a shame to see them be the side that get relegated, as I feel they are probably only 1 or 2 seasons away from being close to a top contender. Blues leading 21-3 to the 4, says No Mum, which, to be honest, was expected. It was always going to be a pretty one-sided game. I wouldn't be surprised if the Blues bring up 40-plus points throughout that game. Maybe the Force score themselves a try, but I think something along the lines of about a 45-10 type of score lines on the cards there. Which is why it felt safe being able to do the Sevens, seeing as the games that we've got coming up in the Sevens, there are a chance that one or two of them could have upsets, and I feel like we've already seen that with Spain versus Samoa, and we could see it again here with Spain versus South Africa. 100 seconds remaining. The turnover is good for, I think that was once again getting in there, the big man Impy Visa, who has come off the bench, already having that impact. But 90 seconds now remaining for South Africa. They will be able to use up a little bit more of the time. Looks like Reinhard Hazen has been told to use it. They are using up a lot of time here, though. They are still not taking the quick tap. Still haven't. That was impressive. The fact that the referee, he warned them, and then they were still able to use up an extra 15 seconds, and that's brilliant game management from South Africa. Yes, it's not the most popular tactic, but it means that you buy enough time, that you've almost got just enough time for yourself to have one more attack. Here comes Ronald Brown with a chance here for the Blitzbok. He's tackled high. Around the side, here comes Darren Adonis. He's a tank, and he scores the try there for South Africa, using up a few extra seconds on the clock. Puts the ball down, and that will extend the lead to an unachievable amount for the Spanish, unless, of course, something drastic happens here, and we see a crazy miss kick from straight out in front of the post. That would be the only thing that changes this game around. The South Africans, it should be nice and easy for them. They will pull off the victory. It's more of a question now of can Spain get within the 7 points. One moment, I'm about to sneeze. And we are good. Of course, the next game is just around the corner. We've just heard the siren. Darren Adonis, he'll be happy about that, and go the bolt from Jakarta. Says Frederick, welcome in, mate. Of course, the next game for South Africa will be tomorrow morning up against the Samoans. We will be covering that game on the channel as well. A lot of people dressed up and enjoying this contest in Hong Kong. It's always known as an extreme party environment. La Forga having a really tough time trying to grab that ball. They're inside of their own goal area, but this has worked out quite nicely for the Spanish. Flying down the wing, they're trying to get themselves that losing bonus point. He's close to the touchline. He's almost forced out, but keeps the ball in the field of play. Interception, and South Africa will get themselves another. It was a risk and reward scenario, but if Spain knew that that was going to occur, maybe they wouldn't have thrown that last pass. But it is the try for Sean Williams, his second in Hong Kong, his second of the season. It came off of a Spanish mistake, but nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. The next live stream that we have got on the channel will be taking place between Samoa and Ireland, just kicking off just around the corner. But South Africa, they have managed to win this one, the Blitzboks. They'll be happy with that. They will now be looking forward to their next game, and they are more than likely through now to the quarterfinals. Thank you for the good commentary. Says Frederick, thank you very much. Like I mentioned, the next game that we are covering is actually a part of Pool C as well. That is Samoa versus the Irish. But thank you all very much for tuning in, and I will see you all for the next one.